Hey, I hope everybody out there is faring safe. I'm Chris, I live in Las Vegas, and today I'm going to do a review on the Korg Poly 800. Now, every time I get a new keyboard, the first thing I do is before it even shows up, I try to read the manual over Google just to make sure I know what's coming and I know what to expect, and I want to fool myself into believing I've done all the research I possibly can before my keyboard shows up. Now, the biggest reason I wanted to get the Korg Poly 800, and as well as, let's see, I've got the Korg 707, and I even have a DX100, a Yamaha DX100, is I wanted to try a Keytar, a keyboard that straps on, but it doesn't have the neck. Now, some would argue that it's not a Keytar unless it has a neck, but if you go on Google and you look at the list of Keytars, you will see these Keytars on there. Now, I love Keytars, but at the same time, my biggest thing is buying vintage gear and playing music, my music, on vintage gear as if I was in the 80s playing that gear, as if I was way back then. So what I really love about this Keytar is that, number one, I wanted to venture out with Keytars without a neck because somebody, one of my very kind viewers, is a left-handed keyboard player, and he asked if there are any Keytars out there that I would recommend for somebody who is left-handed. And yes, there are. Any of the Keytars on the list of Keytars that don't have a neck, or that the neck can be taken off or on. Basically, if you play leads, if you play heavy bass lines, I would totally suggest these Keytars. Now, the Korg Poly 800, I believe, came out in 1983. It's an analog synth. It's ridiculously easy to program. Thank goodness they made it super simple, even for a dude like me who's trying to catch up with like 30-year-old technology. Everything that you need to know about programming this synth is printed on top of the face. So basically, you could go in there and go into all your parameters and make any kind of sound you want from the original presets. I don't know if you would call it a true analog, because you don't have all the fun knobs and dials and cool twisty turny things to play with, but it still has a lot of nice sounds and a lot of power. What's really funny about the manual for this Keytar is that it doesn't name any of the presets. So the first thing I did, and the first thing I do with every new keyboard, is if they don't have a list of presets, I will go in and I will write down all the presets that I really love. Now, as far as Keytars and as far as left-handedness, I will show you how versatile this is for that. I am right-handed. I only picked up Keytars because I want to start to play leads. Other than like just doing a doo-wop on a piano, I wanted to play nice, cool like leads like a guitar player does. Would I suggest this Keytar for leads? No, I would not. But it's got a lot of really cool bass lines, really cool patches, really powerful resonant sounds. Let's see. We go, so totally can strap it on as a Keytar. Listen to that bass. Incredible resonant sounds. It's got a step sequencer on it. It takes a minute to learn how to use the sequencer, but it's pretty damn awesome. Really, really heavy sounds. If you were doing bass lines, I would totally recommend this Keytar. Whew. So, let's take a good look at it. Now, my general understandings of this Keytar is that it's an analog Keytar. It's got 3 digital envelope generators. It's got 2 oscillators. It's got a VCF. What do those mean? Well, to a layman like me, your oscillators are what makes the sound. Your filters are what adds or subtracts from it to mold that sound. And your envelope generators, that's all about the timing. That's how fast you want your sound to make its action and exactly when you want it to delay or end. So with those parameters, you can do almost anything with the preset sounds. I'm gonna go through a couple of the presets just so you could hear the versatility of this thing. By the way, I have no idea the name of these presets, only because there's no list of the presets inside of the catalog, inside of the manual, okay? So I've kind of named them myself. Oh, the one really funny thing I've noticed about the controls on this, there are no zeros or no nines. There are no zeros, no nines. There's only 1 through 8. You have obviously 8 different banks of presets. I believe 1 through 8, I believe there'd be a 64. You get 64 presets without a 0 or a 1. That's very, without a 0 or a 9. That's very Aztec-y. I mean, without the, it's very ancient Greek and Roman, not very Aztec-y. At least Aztecs, they had the concept of 0. Ridiculously easy to program. All of the parameters are out there. Here are your 2 oscillators right there. You've got your VCF, your filters, you've got your digital envelope generators, you've got a 3rd envelope generator, which is a good overall sound. You get to mess around with the frequency, all that cool stuff. Gives you an incredible lot of control of your Keytar. Let's see, this one, I call this Synth Sweep. I have no idea what the name of it is, but it sounds awesome on the sequencer. Listen to that heavy bass. That's number 15. Let's see. I'm gonna go to 18. I believe this is a brass ensemble. It's just a guess. This is a slap bass, if you're big on bass. This is a warm string. You can hear the beauty, the richness of the pads on this Keytar. Let's see, I think this is a synth brass. I'm not really sure, it's a guess. Listen to that, it's heavy, man. Here's another synth bass. This is number 66. I call this a Sci-Fi FX. Listen to that. That's coming out of that thing, dude. Okay. Let's see, this is another synth bass. You could tell I'm in love with synth bass. 75. Perfect for synth wave. Let's see, this I believe this is a 5th wave sound. See how it's all distorted? I'm loving that. Yet another synth bass. And one more, it's the sound effects. There are a lot of sound effects in this Keytar. And let's see, 88. Okay. Let's find a bass and Now, you could totally play this right-handed. I would not say there. I don't want to say that you can't play leads on this, but in theory, you could pick out any of the presets, mess around with the parameters, and make an awesome lead sound. I would basically use this for pads. I would use this for bass lines. Let me show you why. Okay. So, if I was going to play Keytar right-handed, of course I would wear it this way. Ooh. Come on. Pretty alright, but let's say I'm a left-handed bass player. I don't have a neck that I have to control with my left hand. You could easily just turn the strap the other way, make it as comfortable as you can, and then just kill your bass lines the best way you can. All right. Another synth bass. Now, what I really love about this thing is the step sequencer. You can play a sequence, and then you can play on top of it. I think my wireless mic is dying, so I better wrap it up. Now, some would argue that Keytars without necks, or at least these shoulder synthesizers without necks, are not Keytars. I would argue that they are Keytars, not just because it's on the Google list of Keytars. I would argue it because left-handed people and inclusiveness. And the fact that the idea of strapping any keyboard to your body and running around with it, that's gotta qualify as a Keytar. I totally admire Pink in the Keytar Cat's channel when she talks about how guitarists, their whole goal is to get into the face of guitar players from stealing all that fame on stage for years and years and decades. So if you are tired of being stuck behind the rack and you want to play Keytar, by all means, whether it has a neck or not, play it. If you really want to get into synthesis, I would say get an old school analog Keytar. I would say get an old school, anything with knobs and like dials on it, and play around and make weird sounds. I'm gonna do another one of these on the Korg 707. Now, the 707, same deal, it's a Keytar with no neck. I guess you could say that these are the football players of Keytars because, you know, no neck. But at the same time, it's a performance Keytar. It's a performance keyboard. And it's written, it is designed to be played on stage. It's got some really awesome sounds that I would say, yeah, you can use that to play some awesome leads. I will do another video on that. But at the same time, let's see, I have got the Yamaha DX100 right there. I thought buying the Yamaha DX100, it would be like having a DX7 in a Keytar form. Didn't really turn out that way. The Yamaha DX100 is more like having a Yamaha FB1 in a Keytar form. But when I do that video for the Yamaha X100, I will play them side by side so you can hear. The cool thing about the Korg 707 is that it's an FM synthesis Keytar, and I will go into that more in my next video. So I hope everybody's being happy and healthy and safe out there. I'm trying to get in my practice the best I can while I'm still working. I still deliver pizza. I think I'm gonna stick with blues and purple in my hair because I'm really digging it. My fiance did my hair with purple roots and like blue tips. And in some places it mixed, some places it's blue roots and purple tips, but it looks so cool. I'm gonna keep it. What else? Oh, delivering pizza. Delivering pizza has been super exciting the last couple of months, but there have been some bumps in the road. I got a speeding ticket like a good month ago. I just paid that speeding ticket. Let's see, I was delivering a big house order of like 10 pizzas, dude, and I had like 10 pizzas in the back of my car, and like on the delivery, the stack of 10 pieces just fell over, dude, and I didn't even know until I got to my delivery. And the first thing I did was call my job. I'm like, hey, you know those 10 pizzas I just left with? Yeah, they're broken. They're broken. So basically, they remade the pizzas. Somebody else took the delivery, but dude, I was so mortified. And you know, the sad thing is my bosses totally didn't even yell at me, dude. They were totally nice about it, man. And about a week ago, as I was leaving on my way home, somebody who was ordering pizza backed into my car in the parking lot. So now I'm like arguing with the insurance company, my insurance company, and the person's insurance company over like some scratch paint on my bumper, dude. But basically, if that's my own problem, dude, I'm doing all right. Las Vegas is doing okay. I suggest everybody keep your head about you. Do your best to wear masks, to wear gloves, to wash your hands, to care about yourself, to care about the people you love, to care about your neighbors. If you have an art form, embrace it, use it, especially now. Art heals. Art heals, inspiration brings people together. Big love out there, big hugs from Las Vegas. Be happy, be safe. Play music, Keytar is life.